you. So up next, our next guest has garnered many accolades, and he is only just turned 30. Makes us look real bad, but it's fine. He's made this year's Forbes 30 Under 30 list, is the author of the world's first augmented reality memoir, all while building a strong global reputation as a dedicated advocate for underestimated and marginalized communities. We're thrilled to have with us this morning from Scarborough, born and raised, activist and educator, Curtis Carmichael. How's it going, Curtis?
Good, repping Scarborough, you already know?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah,
rep Scarborough for sure. Man, 30 Under 30, this happened last year for you, but you're kind of celebrating it this year. That feeling, that call, that understanding of what happened and just kind of embracing that, what was that like for you?
It was cool because I think a lot of my work in the community is like on the spirit of Ubuntu. So when I want it, like outside of community, the award doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But in community, I saw it as like the OGs, my brothers and sisters on the corner, inside prison, all the black women that kind of stewarded me, that literacy and liberation, all of us, it was like a collective win. So I always see it as like a recognition for the community above anything else.
So cool, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your book as well?
Yeah.
Butterflies in the Trenches. Not only is it a very touching, real story that, again, takes a lot of courage to be able to share, but it's the first augmented reality book. That in itself is a whole other undertaking. Tell me about how this came about.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think when I was growing up, I always was looking for a book about someone who kind of broke the cycle of poverty, prepared for the future work, but came back to elevate the whole neighborhood, and I couldn't find it as a kid. So I kept looking for it even as a teacher, as an adult, still couldn't find it. So
Right.
I took Toni Morrison's words that if there's a book that you haven't want to read that hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. So I wrote it as a responsibility, but it's a blueprint on breaking the cycle of poverty and prepare for the future work. So the goal is, I don't want it just to be a self-help guide. I want people to be like, talent is universal, opportunity isn't. Success is not making it, let's make your life better. But my favorite is everyone's gifted. We just need the right platform and opportunity to help us unwrap those gifts. So that's kind of my focus.
I love that you say that, because
Beautiful.
opportunity is so key, right? And
Yeah.
timing is so key with those things. When you say an AR book, what does that mean for people that are, like, we don't understand what
Yeah.
that actually means with a book?
Definitely. I think in layman's terms, remember
Yeah.
when elementary teachers brought that book to life for you in the classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's how I wrote the book. Episodic, a lot of short stories, photos at the back of every chapter, but I built an app that kind of brings every photo to life
Right.
through interactive visual and audio elements. So you feel like the story happened to you, but you felt like you were there with us. So that's kind of how I got it from Nipsey Hussle, who did the Marathon store, an AR store. Yeah.
That's
Amazing. And
and-
tell us about your organization,
Yeah.
because you're an author,
Yeah.
you're an activist. Again, we're trying to cover
Everything.
in such a short
There's
amount
so
of
much.
time everything that Curtis does.
Yeah.
It's Source Code Academy Canada. So tell us about that organization.
Yeah, so Source Code Academy is Canada's first futurist academy. And essentially, we prepare kids who are underestimated for the future of work. So we work with K to 12 kids in educational programming, but the main focus is what we actually do as an organization. We're a hub, but we work in different neighborhoods, and our long-term goal is to help them build their own innovation and entrepreneurship academies, so the
That's
power is
amazing.
decentralized. So they own
It's
and
the
operate
education.
everything that they
Yeah.
do in their neighborhood, and we're kind of like a geek squad for the hood. So I got that from like ancient African communities that did that. They decentralized colonial powers, so they can essentially give you power to kind of run your own stuff. So that's where you have real power. That's what Fred Hampton said. Where there's people, there's power. That's kind of what we do as an organization.
Man, just listening to you speak and just seeing your passion for what you do is unbelievable. How did this start for you? Because you're starting this and sparking something inside of a lot of the youth that you come across. What sparked it for you?
Yeah, I think for me is like, as a practice, I'm like a STEM and STEAM education futurist. So when I remember growing up, I always see that STEM is a colonial tool, but STEAM has the arts in it, and everyone can enter anything through the arts. And arts is kind of the grounding of STEM, so that makes inclusive innovation for everybody. So as a young kid, I always wanted to see like, how can you build a world that's inclusive for all of humanity and not just a select few? That's kind of what kind of drove my thing from being a drug dealer all the way to becoming a STEM entrepreneur, is really try to give kids that power to be like, you know what, we have all the agency and the power to make a difference right in us. We don't need to search for anything outside of us.
It's so
When
cool.
kids come to you, Curtis, and say, you changed my life, or you inspired me, how does that make you feel?
It's interesting because I feel like I'm focused on the mission.
Yeah.
So I do take it, I say thank you, but I feel like my mission is to elevate the social and economic fabric of every neighborhood I enter. So I kind of just stay focused on the mission. I'll take the compliments, but my main thing is I'm here on God's earth to ensure that everyone has decentralized power so we can own and operate whatever we want. And that's the best way to future-proof our lives, is taking control of it.
That's a sign of a good leader right there. I received that message. I appreciate it, but I'm keeping it moving forward because I have a larger goal that you want to accomplish,
work to
which
do.
is
A lot of work
unbelievable,
ahead
right?
of us. Yeah.
Look, quickly, we got about 20 seconds here. celebration of the 1-year anniversary of the book, plus your 30 Under 30. Tell us about that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So it's an event sold out, but I might get a couple extras tickets to sneak y'all in. But essentially, we're just celebrating. About 150 community and corporate CEOs will be there, and we're just going to celebrate the life of the book, but also celebrate the community that is actually the founding of the organization and what we're planning to do in the future, which is kind of sneak peek. We want to purchase a building under the nonprofit so we can future-proof our organization, and then we future-proof the neighborhoods.
Congratulations.
Curtis Carmichael, everybody. Keep doing what you're doing. You are inspiring many, many people, not just the youth, man, everybody around the world. So keep doing it. And he just cycled across the country just, to raise money and things like that.
$100,000 he raised in 60 days.
The list goes on and on. Look up Curtis. He's done so much, man. CurtisCarmichael.ca. Dude, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Congrats again.
Oh,
thank
pleasure.
You for coming in.
Great to meet you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,